Is João Pedro the best striker in the world right now? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now before I start, could you like, comment, share, subscribe and hype up the video. It's electric about football. Now I'm going to be a bit biased. I'm a Chelsea fan, but that's the whole reason that there is a debate, because of Chelsea fans. But anyways, let's talk about why this debate even started. Not even a debate, more of a conversation. But recently João Pedro has been in incredible form. He's got about 13 goal contributions in 13 games. And Liam Rosenior in his most recent press conference was like, I wouldn't swap the João Pedro for any striker in the world. He put him in the same category as Kylian Mbappé and Harry Kane. And he says he's that caliber of player. And I'm going to assess his claim. Let's first talk about João Pedro himself. And the reason why he can be the best striker in the world. Why he probably is the best striker in the world. Now recently, under Liam Rosenior, he's played 13 matches, he's got 13 goal contributions, about 11 goals and 2 assists, 1 in the cup and I'm pretty sure the rest on the league. And a key thing is, he doesn't take penalties as well. That's the main thing that puts him apart from Kane and Mbappe. But I'll talk about that later on. And one thing he has done recently, as you've seen, is he's more advanced. He does play as a main striker, and a key thing is his confidence. I see his confidence is at an all-time high. He's recapturing his form that he had at the Club World Cup. At the Club World Cup, he was absolutely phenomenal. And genuinely, before signing, I didn't really want him for the price tag 60 million for a guy who his best goal-scoring stats were in the Championship, and they weren't above 15 goals. I'm pretty sure he just broke his all-time goals in a season in the Premier League. So before signing, I was very against it. Not very against it, but I was kind of against it, because João Pedro, he's much more creative than a normal striker. Then you think of a normal striker, and you could say he's much more of a modern striker. But João Pedro, he's much more creative than just a Haaland who just scores goals. And that's what separates João Pedro from a lot of others. And currently right now, he's in insane form. But one thing I do want to say is João Pedro, he's had this great run of form. We've only really had 2 or 3 hard games. 3 hard games. One of them was against Brentford, where he did play great, and I'm pretty sure he did score. I'm not too sure. I think he did, yeah. And the other hard game, the 2 actual hard games, were Aston Villa, which, if you look at the scoreline, was really that hard. He scored a hat-trick, which, bloody hell, was insane. We won 4-1, and we did play Arsenal, where he did go on to lose, and he didn't get a goal contribution, which was quite annoying, and that was in the league match. And overall though, if you take into account he doesn't even take the penalties, I think he's done phenomenal, and I think he does deserve to be in the conversation to be one of the best strikers in the world. But let's talk about the other supposed best strikers in the world. We've got Harry Kane. Let's talk about him. Harry Kane, in his last 13 games, he's got about 16 goals and 2 assists. I'm not lying, he's that good. He's got a couple of hat-tricks in there, just like João Pedro. And currently right now, he has the most goals in Europe for this season. He's got 30 goals. Next best is 23 and 22. I think that's Haaland with 23. Might be 22, I'm not sure. But Harry Kane, he's top of the goals for Europe. And he is leading goal scorer for the Bundesliga. And for Europe as a whole, the most goals in Europe. And the thing is with Harry Kane is he does take the penalties. And another thing is Bayern Munich. And as a part-time Bayern Munich fan, yes, this thing. The thing is, Bayern Munich, they're way too good. They're 10 points ahead of the second best Dortmund. And I actually did play the second best Dortmund, and he played pretty good in them. And in that run of games, the last 15, 13 games, the only hard team, genuinely, is probably Frankfurt, Stuttgart, and Dortmund. All of which were easily dismantled. And Harry Kane, I don't know if you would call them big games, but if there were any big games this season, he has turned up. And his attack is absolutely phenomenal. You've got Olise, you've got blanked out with left wingers. Anyways, you got a great guy in behind him, and then Musiala just came back as well. And genuinely have a great attack. The thing is with Bayern Munich, they're so good that most of the time they could just afford to be attacking a lot of the time, if that makes sense. So let's say, I don't know, your Chelsea will be much more likely to be more defensive than Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are just that good of a quality team compared to the others in the Bundesliga, and for that reason they can just keep on attacking and they're not too worried about getting hit on the counter. And I feel like that's a big thing that could make Harry Kane less of the best striker in the world, because of how good his team is. He takes the penalties, and his stats are absolutely insane though, I will say that. And he does take penalties, but it's very close one. The next person I'm going to talk about is Kylian Mbappé. Kylian Mbappé, he's he's had 13 games and he's got about 15 goal contributions. And I do want to say, not a lot of them, but quite a few of them were penalties. I do want to say that. Real Madrid, for some reason, feels like every single match they do get a penalty. And it's really weird, but it does happen. And I feel like for the reason, obviously you take Mbappe seriously, but his stats are a bit misleading, I would want to say. And his team currently are second in the league, Real Madrid, and I feel like that's a big, no-no in being the best striker in the world. I know you're going to say João Pedro is fifth in the league, but this is Real Madrid. I know they've had a turbulent season, but if you're the best striker in the world and you play for Real Madrid, you should be top of the league. And you shouldn't need to be defeating Benfica over 2 legs. And I guess it's kind of out of his control. But even then, I mean, I think he did score once in the Benfica game. I expected him to do a bit more. I don't know, maybe I have high standards for him. But anyways, and in the league though, they've, again, just like Chelsea and Bayern Munich, they haven't had any really tough games. And he does take the penalties, which does make his goals much more higher than he should be. Overall, yes, if you're talking about class, current ability, is he world class? Yes, he's definitely top 2-3 best players in the world. If you're taking out form and you were like, okay, give me the 3 best players in the world, you probably put Mbappe in there. And if you talk about strikers, you probably put Harry Kane in there. But the thing is with João Pedro, he doesn't take the penalties. He's in super incredible form, and he actually makes his team win. If you look at his goals, a lot of them are either equalizers or winners. And look at his last game, Wrexham game. I know it's not technically a winner, but he scored the 4th goal to cap off the match and get us into the quarterfinals, where we will play Port Vale. So what do you guys think? Do you think João Pedro is the best striker in the world? I think he's definitely in the conversation, but if he keeps up his form, then I'd say, okay, best striker in the world. Kane and Mbappe, I feel like they're just a level above, but we'll soon see. And João Pedro, if he's going to be the best striker in the world, I want to see how he turns up against PSG over 2 legs. If he does, I don't know, let's say he gets 3 goal contributions over the 2 legs, I will classify him as one of the best strikers in the world. He's moved upper class. He's in world class. So what do you guys think about my debate, conversation, best striker in the world? Izzy, let me know. Could you like, comment, share, subscribe? Let's talk about football. Thank you for watching.